Look who's back, everyone! It's Deep Dive Zone, the Sonic reread series for fans of all shapes and sizes. And I realized that I just called it something different than I normally do, but that's not a problem. I'm your host, Evan, joined as always by Lauren and Bruce, and today we got some Sonic the Hedgehog comics, starting off with Sonic number 106. Dragon.
Yeah.
Yep. That is what that is.
You know, Dragon.
It's the most Sonic of things.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we've seen dragons in these comics, plus, there was at least one in Sad AM. I don't remember if we saw more of them.
Have I ever seen a dragon
we
in a Sonic
did
game?
see more than one in Sad AM.
Okay. I mean, I knew we had
Obviously,
Dulcie, but
yeah, Dulcie was the main one.
Right, I couldn't remember if we saw anyone besides Dulcie, because I didn't really like Dulcie.
There's dragons in Sonic and the Black Knight, I guess. But
Yeah, but that's like a weird alternate universe or something.
yeah. Anyway, the story here is Crouching Hedgehog, Hidden Dragon, the movie reference. Bollers and Limb. The freedom fighters go on a diplomatic mission to Station Square to negotiate living space for the human refugees. But something else is there, too.
Yeah, I was about to say someone else is there. Yeah, it's called The People Who Already Live There.
Well, yeah. I wasn't expecting Station Square to be brought up outside of a game adaptation, I'm going to be honest. So
I wasn't all that surprised. Well, to be fair, they've already brought it back up. Well, I guess, yeah, it's still a game adaptation, because they did bring it back up for SA2, but that's still a game. It really seems like Station Square is going to become our hub for humans that aren't bastards.
That kind of makes sense. You just never know exactly what will stick from the game adaptation.
So that's totally
this is
true.
Sticking.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised it's sticking.
Yeah, we're kind of dealing with the same problem as after Mobotropolis was liberated, which is that we have a bunch of refugees. Before it was Robians, now it's mostly humans.
Now it's humans.
And Knothole isn't big enough to hold everybody.
Right.
Well, that's not the reason they give.
Not just that, it's also, I don't think the Mobians. Yeah, Mobians. Why did anyway? The Mobians, I don't think they want the humans there either.
No, they don't
Other
really
way
want
around.
to live together either, but they also
it's the inverse.
Yeah, that's right. The humans don't want to be
there.
It's
the humans that don't want to be with.
Yeah, because the humans are all racist.
Mobians. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
Right.
And these guys aren't super nice in different ways. They're unnice, which is that they're like, not our problem, get them out of here. Says the new president who talks about the mayor like
mentions the mayor got
something.
Yeah, it mentions the mayor got deposed or like. Or actually doesn't outright say. It just says times have changed for the better. So Station Square went from having a mayor to a president.
And also, like, nothing's different. This is not really that different from before. And also, the mayor was not, like, a terrible dude or anything. He didn't do anything wrong that I know of.
No,
I have a theory, actually.
Oh boy, all right.
Because what has changed, I mentioned this in the Adventure 2 adaptation, which is where the president also was.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, Gunn has a huge presence. I think the mayor, was totally discredited because they were defenseless against Eggman, and so they built up the military and brought in the president here.
Interesting. Okay,
yeah, it's possible.
That makes as much sense as anything else.
So maybe for the better is just in his opinion, I suppose.
Yeah.
And case in point, the humans, they view everything as a transaction. Is the problem here?
Right.
Is that they're like, can you take these guys in? And they're like, well, what'll you do for us? And
right.
Sonic's like, what the fuck are you? It's the right thing to do. What are you talking about?
Well, what they should have done is say, we saved your fucking city.
Yeah, and we're going to do it again.
Yeah, we beat Perfect Chaos. We'll probably end up and we know they're going to save Station Square again. And
that's the plot of the issue, is that they're like, well, you can help us with this.
But also it's like, the freedom fighters are bound to do it again. And come on.
Yeah. Well, and Sally's other offer is to basically build an alliance with Station Square by giving Gunn information on Eggman. Which they definitely need, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That has certainly been proven because
Right.
also remember Adventure 2 happened as well, even though it barely got shown. There's this
Right.
bit when the mayor is like, "Huh, maybe I should." Not mayor, sorry. The president is like, "Huh, maybe I should like actually cooperate with these people." And it shows Shadow on one of the screens. I'm just like, that you're gonna show him there. Not bring him in. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a really funny and not correct drawing of Shadow because he's just Sonic.
True.
Um, yeah. Anyway, here's a random dragon to attack the city.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. My first thought seeing this is, oh, this is an Eggman attack. It's a robot.
Well, it's kind of,
That's
but what the hell else would it be?
Exactly. What the fuck else would this be?
Well, I mean, it's not like we haven't seen in the comics random threats before. I mean,
No, it's
we've
true. We
had like
have, but like,
Naugus and Mogul
I,
and
I, I guess what it is I just want this to be more important than it actually really is.
Yeah.
uh-huh. Yeah, no, it is a bit of a non sequitur as these comics do from time to
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and, it's like, well, we know that this will be brought up next issue too, but by the end of this one, it's like they have a big fight with it, and that's kind of it. You
Right.
don't get any information on it. And even with next time, the way that this gets brought back up is essentially unrelated to this. They could have been two separate threats.
Yeah, pretty
Um,
much.
I don't know what you mean, but maybe we should save that for next issue.
Well, it's like they fight and I guess it runs away, so but the actual I don't know, it's like they could have saved him from something here and then been like, "Oh, also there's this other thing we want you to check out." I don't know. Um
I mean, it makes more sense to have them connected, I think.
No, it
I
does make more
suppose.
sense to have them connected because, like, here's the thing. As you mentioned, everything's transactional with the humans here. So if Sonic defeats the dragon here, he has no reason to go on the quest they go on in the next issue.
I guess yeah,
True.
it's less if you do this for us, we'll do what you want, and more, hey,
Right.
if you don't want to die to a dragon, take our deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it does work because that gets them to accept the refugees. And
Ultimately.
Right.
Yeah.
and that's kind of it for the first story. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
Not really.
No, it's really just setup.
It's set up for the next issue, which I
Yeah.
guess is fine.
So impressively, that means that the substance of this issue might be a little bit more in the Penders half, which is not saying a lot, but it's something. Um,
Yeah.
Before we get there, there's this diagram of Station Square, which screwed with my head a little bit because apparently there is ocean, and even though the diagram does not show how this is possible, the descriptive text below says, "Oh yeah, it connects with the outside somehow." Okay, so that
Yeah.
apparently
Well, so
explains how there's a navy, but I don't
there
get how
is,
that works.
yeah, the ocean. I don't get how their navy can connect to the outside world. I mean, we know there's a cave entrance up above, and that's how the freedom fighters keep getting in.
I
But
thought
the
that was the only
water,
way in and out.
I would assume so.
Not according to the description, but
Well, yeah, yeah. It's like somehow they can get their navy out, which
well,
who
it's like
knows?
it shows the location of Prison Island, and it's outside of all this. So it's like, how do you get the boats from there to there?
I mean, maybe their navy is just stationed outside of the outside the cave.
Under
that doesn't make any sense because otherwise they would have been spotted at one point,
they have
surely.
an
That's
underground
true.
airlift to take things between bodies of water.
They have
Seems a
transporter
bit
arrays.
Now, in
counterproductive.
fairness, I am pretty sure this diagram is drawn by Penders, so he may just have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure
You can
that's
tell
true.
I
because the
mean,
backgrounds are photoshopped.
I'm gonna be honest. Even if this wasn't Penders, I'm gonna have to say they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
No, I'm not sure anybody knows how this is supposed to work. Thankfully, this will not be a permanent problem. Um,
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
I'm not going to tell you what that means. Anyway, speaking of Penders, let's continue on to his side of the issue with Reunification, Part 1. Penders and Don Best. Gruckles attempts to reverse the quantum beam's effect on his own, but a time-traveling echidna girl witnesses the effect of this firsthand.
I looked at this first page and I was like, oh my gosh, she's here.
We got to see a little bit of her last week, right?
I don't think so.
No?
No?
No.
I swear to God, I have notes mentioning that we did.
I remember distinctly seeing this page and being like, oh my gosh, it's them. And
Shit.
not
Oh,
reacting.
no, never mind.
Before.
We talked about it after the episode.
Oh, you fool. Anyway, yes, so this echidna girl, Terminator, time travels into the currently empty Echidnaopolis. So I thought that the quantum beam took the city and everyone in it, but apparently it just took the people?
Which, sure.
I mean, it doesn't make much difference at the end, so I don't really care, but I also thought the same.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, do they actually have her introduce herself at any point in this issue?
She gives a pseudonym.
Yeah, she calls
and that may
herself Johnny
be that might be in the next issue.
All right, well, I'm going to call it that for right now because
that's fine.
It's a reveal who she actually is. But her design is so much better here from Don Best than Penders' updated designs for this character are later.
Especially much later.
I like the purple hair. I like the glasses. I like that she has actual Knuckles gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I wish that she still looked like this in even later stuff from people that aren't Penders, honestly.
Right.
Anyway, so...
No, I mean, right here, I'm, like, intrigued. I'm like, okay, who's this person?
Well,
I want to know what's going on.
I mean, you look at her design, you can get an idea of, like, okay, well, if she's a time traveler, I can get an idea of who her parents are.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that. That's actually pretty clever.
Because she has obvious designs from both of them. Because, that is sort of how parents work.
I mean, it's a little difficult just in that echidnas all look the fucking same anyway.
Yeah, well, but like...
No, I get what you're saying.
It's not like she's going to be the child of two random characters we've never seen. We know full well she's going to be the child of two important characters.
Yeah. Anyway. So, what the fuck are these Dark Legion guys doing near her? What are they doing? Are they just looking at Knuckles?
I thought they were, like, patrolling the city.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just looking back. I think they're just patrolling.
Yeah, it seems like they're just patrolling. Yeah, they're called. They're a scout team, I think.
It's possible they got like an energy disturbance, which was either Gruckles or this person, Johnny Cott.
Probably.
They just couldn't find it.
Yeah. What's really weird is that last week it seemed like Dimitri was telling Gruckles that, like, oh, you can, the last thing you could try is to reverse the effect of the beam yourself. And here Gruckles is doing it, but then when Lian Da tells Dimitri that that's what he's doing, he's like, what? No! Why? Like, why is he surprised about that?
I can't remember if that's exactly what he said or if he kind of just implied it.
Yeah, I think Dimitri was just implying that that's a possibility.
Either way, I don't know that he expected he would actually go through with it.
Like, at least immediately.
Yeah, so I don't find this too outrageous.
Also, I got a question. Is Dimitri diabetic?
Okay, yeah. So I love that Dimitri has gone down in threat level to such a degree that they're now making jokes about their blood sugar.
Yeah, Dimitri used to be like an actual threat. The Dark Legion was like an actual threat.
No, I like it. It just means that sort of Gruckles has cozied up enough with him,
right?
That they're showing him super casually at this point.
That's true. We haven't really gotten to see them. See any of the Dark Legion just kind of existing. Most of the time, it's either scheming or getting their asses beaten,
Yeah,
Or
that's
both.
true. I really
or
like this.
both. Yeah. No, I enjoy seeing this almost this kind of like day to day just
Domestic.
what's happening. Yeah, domestic.
It also makes Dimitri feel a little bit more like a character. He was just insane
That's true.
before.
Yeah, previously Dimitri was very much just well, he was just a villain. He wasn't
He was
anything
just the big
interesting.
loud guy, and now
Yeah,
he's
he was
ripped
the
and needs
big
to
loud
take his
villain,
pills.
Yeah,
which honestly makes more sense for his condition.
true,
Yeah.
true.
So, Johnny Ka walks around the empty city, but gets frigging buffeted by the wind and hurricanes of Gruckles, standing in the middle of the city, putting his hands up, screaming, because apparently you need to do that to reverse the quantum beam.
I'm disappointed that I
I
don't
mean,
think he
sure.
blows up again,
No, he does not
No.
explode.
which is disappointing because I want him to explode again because it's funny.
In fact, we don't see exactly what does happen as a result, other than the fact that it totally does just work.
Yeah, this is like the first time, at least recently, that Gruckles has tried to do something that actually worked.
Well, but it's just like you.
And it's another case of something that's really anticlimactic.
Yeah. She falls on the ground
And suddenly there's Remington.
yeah. Hi.
Hi, I'm back.
It is definitely quite abrupt, which is funny because they meandered so long
And then
until
it just
finally doing
happens.
this.
Yeah,
Like,
and it frustrates me, especially with Gruckles, because as we've established, he's just a walking plot device. He
it's
can literally
yeah,
do whatever the fuck, whatever the hell Pendy's needs him to do.
Yeah, the only thing keeping him from doing this immediately and not walking around doing absolutely nothing for how many issues has it been? Like 15 at this point?
I don't know.
Was just
It was
him.
Dimitri, or it was him meeting with the Dark Legion, and Dimitri saying, "Hey, you could do this."
Yeah, all he needed was to be told he could do it.
I mean, that's been the problem with Knuckles in general, though. He has no agency in any of these comics.
Yeah.
it's true, unfortunately.
And
Um,
it's funny because we were kind of talking about previously how Gruckles seemed to have a little bit more agency,
I mean,
and
kind of.
a little bit, not a whole lot more. Let's be honest, he was still pretty much just being told what to do. But yeah, he had a little bit more agency. And now we're back to him needing to be told what the fuck what to do all the time.
I
I mean, I don't hate this completely. I can see what Penders was trying to do. He was trying to be
Yeah.
like, oh, Gruckles has to, come to terms with their new powers and
Sure.
try it out and master it. The
Oh, yeah,
problem
no, I
is the
get
way
that.
it works is just you do it.
Yeah,
There's
he is a walking Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, the Emerald powers, I've never liked the Emerald powers. They just kind of do stuff. There's no technique to it. It's not an interesting ability. It's just you do the thing and it works.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the Emeralds are at their best when when all they can do is just trigger super forms, and those
Yeah,
super
when
forms
it's-
are just being used for like fighting
when it's
or to do
literally
specific
just
things.
energy, basically.
Yeah, when the Emeralds have this power to turn a character into whatever the fuck Gruckles is.
Well, I mean, or like power stuff, you know.
Yeah, when the Emeralds have this ability to basically do whatever the fuck the writers need them to do, instead of being just these are just a power source.
Yeah, they shouldn't be like witching stones that have
No,
a
they
bunch
should-
of crazy
they-
magics.
No, just leave them as just effectively a source of like borderline infinite power. That's all they need to be.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, long story short, everybody from Echidnopolis is now back.
Right.
And Echidna Girl is like, oh my god, when looking at Remington, it's the Echidna who killed Gruckles, because that's definitely going to happen.
I'm sure it will.
I mean, I would almost believe it with Penders, but the problem is Gruckles is Penders' like pet character.
Right.
So Yeah, probably not. Like anyone else, Penders would probably try to do that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But
No,
not
Gruckles is
That's
like,
the only exception.
yeah, no, I agree.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily disbelieve that Penders would try to kill Gruckles off. I don't believe that he would have Remington do it. Because,
Yeah,
like,
because Remington's
but I
another
mean,
one of his like baby characters because he tried to make him a chaotic.
you might as well. You should say that Harry the cab driver did it.
Jesus Christ.
They really did not have the page space for either story in this issue.
I mean,
Eh,
I don't know.
I mean,
This one didn't. This one didn't feel rushed. The bit at the end was a culmination, as I said, of the other issues. So it felt like it was a rush of the arc, not a rush of the story right here.
Yeah,
which
that's fair.
it didn't really feel rushed. It was just suddenly, oh, this happened at the end.
Yeah, the story
Right.
itself is not rushing. It's the fact that this was the primary conflict that set off all this Gruckles business, and now it's just done.
yeah, and we're still stuck with Gruckles.
Stuckles with
I'm
Gruckles. Anyway,
very curious as to what like the writing process was behind this, because
would be interested-
this totally
yeah.
comes off as like Penders was trying to, build up something interesting with Gruckles' powers, and make a conflict with like Gruckles being left alone and having no one to turn to but the Dark Legion. And then they just decide, oh, wait a minute, what if I brought this character for the future? That'd be really interesting. Let's just resolve that other plot right now.
yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it does.
Well, let's at least see where he goes with it. This is Sonic the Hedgehog number 107. Those guys are not. They don't look like they're from the same series as you. Like, I know that these are the Sigma Alpha 2, but
Right.
Yeah,
No, but they do not look like these. That I mean that's the issue when shit starts getting too anime.
yeah, Sonic working with Gun. He's in the anime haircut division.
Yeah.
This is Crouching Hedgehog, Hidden Dragon, the other one, Ballers and Limb. Sonic and friends are called back to fight the dragon Zan, having survived the last battle. But in his home on Pyro Island lurks something nobody saw coming.
That is very true.
That is extremely true.
Including me, because I said that they wouldn't show up again, and Bruce was like, "You fucking liar, Devin," and I really just forgot about this.
Yeah, I'm out here calling you a rat bastard.
So we start off with them talking to the gun dudes, including Hugo Brass, but you can't see the G shaved into the back of his head.
I'm so disappointed.
This scene is good anyway because I love that the gun team shows up and they're like, "You're gonna be working with these guys," and then Sonic just bursts out laughing, and Sally has to awkwardly, like, diplomatically tell them, like, "No, it's a sign of respect to laugh at one's allies in our culture."
Oh, I do like that Sonic laughs at them because that's definitely what Sonic would do.
That is definitely what Sonic would do because he beat all their asses.
Yeah.
You know,
But Sally reacting like that is like that doesn't work. That's like a really sort of a lame joke, and it seems like they're gonna like. It's the trope where you try to play it off, and then it's pretty obvious that you're just lying, and then they
and then the president
call
just
you out
kind
on
of
it later,
takes it
but
at
they
face
don't
value.
ever. This isn't brought up again, which is bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect it because these writers have like the strangest memories. I would expect it to be brought up again, but
I mean, I just think it's a silly little bit.
I agree that it's a silly little bit, but I do agree also, like
it's just a lame sort of a joke doesn't land when I have to be like, oh, okay, now we've gone into ludicrous territory for a second.
I
for
think
me,
part
at
of
least.
it is that is they should know why Sonic's laughing at them.
I think they do.
Well, the team
based
knows
on the way they're looking.
Well, to be fair, one of them reacts with an exclamation mark.
No, I'm sure they do know, but
yeah, they know.
The president doesn't, but he's
the president doesn't know. Yeah, but he probably does. They probably didn't report that he kicked their asses the first time they met.
Oh, you think they just lied to him?
Yeah, they lied. You're damn right they lied.
Well, see, that makes Sally's lie better because it means that he actually might believe her. Like it makes it more plausible.
Yeah, no,
See, all these things would make it better, but instead it's just a bit, and then they don't talk about it again, which is what really
Yeah.
confuses me.
Well, whatever. So we're heading towards Pyro Island, which was this even shown on the map last time? I don't think it was.
I
No.
don't think so.
That would have been a good thing to plan, guys. But I do like that, they drop him off by, just jumping out of the plane. I like that all the humans use parachutes, but Tails and Bunny can both fly. Sonic just hangs on Bunny's arm though, no problem.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he wasn't hanging on Tails.
Rip off another piece of scrap metal, uses a board.
Oh.
He's already done it once. He would I wouldn't put it past him to do it again.
Yeah.
Tails says this island is so pretty about some random forest environments that look like 90% of the other environments in this comic.
It doesn't mean you can't appreciate the beauty, even if you've seen similar places before.
Honestly, the backgrounds, at least in some of this issue, don't look all that great. They're just kind of flat colors.
Ron
Well,
Lim
yeah.
is a very utilitarian artist, and
I
that's part of the
can
reason they
tell,
kept
yeah.
hiring him is because he always meets his deadline. But it's like you get
I
enough
can
to
tell.
understand what you're looking at, and that's it.
Yeah, only we're stuck with like gray purple skies the entire time. It's great.
Yeah. So as they're going, they basically two of the gun guys disappear.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I mean, you can see the dragon's eyes in the background, so I guess it just ate them.
Sure. Yeah, wait, do they not show back up at the end of the issue?
No, I think they do. But,
Okay, because if they didn't, that would be one hell of a thing to imply.
I can't tell, actually. I'm trying to flip through the pages here.
I'm going to the end of the end of the story.
They may very well show up in later issues, but I don't.
Yeah, they're not at the
here,
end of the
actually,
issue. Only the
which is really interesting, actually.
Yeah, we only
it's
see
the
3 of
vampire
them.
guy and the dreadlocks guy.
Yeah, we only see the 3 that were remaining at the end of the issue.
Okay, gosh. If they actually got killed, that makes my next comment even worse, which is that I don't understand why Sonic is like, who cares about your friends? We gotta keep, going for the dragon. We're not gonna stay behind for them, which is like stupid. Sonic would completely turn around for any of his buddies if they got lost.
Sure,
Why
yeah.
is he acting like such a jerk?
Yeah, Sonic shouldn't be the one
yeah.
racist toward humans.
No, Sonic should be the one saying, yeah, we should at least try to look for them.
Yeah. Well, also, he's really fast. He should be able to race around and check a lot of places at once. I'm not even...
Yeah.
It's almost like Sonic's speed is very underutilized in a lot of these comics.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, they do end up splitting up and extremely easily find the dragon's lair, Sonic's side of things. And, holy shit, it's Dulcie.
Yeah, I don't even remember her leaving, I'm gonna be honest.
That's because she didn't leave. I went back and checked, and I was like, did I forget something?
Yeah,
no,
okay,
I
good.
didn't forget anything.
Cool.
I was like, Dulcie's still with the Freedom Fighters. Why is she here all of a sudden? I don't know, but the writers decided that off-screen, Dulcie left, even the last we saw her was she was with everyone else.
Yeah, she just dipped out at some point and then got a abusive boyfriend.
Well, hold on.
Getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, excuse me, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Just a little tease.
The last major plot contribution Dulcie made was flinging their shuttle into space to find
Right.
Robo-Robotnik.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was the last time I remembered seeing her.
And Gabri helpfully clarifies that the last time she was on screen at all was in 78, which is the last comic that we did of the classic era, I believe. At least numbered-wise.
Was it?
Yeah, because I think...
I mean,
79
yeah. Yeah, no, it was. I'm trying to think what happened, like, where she was in 78.
She was just part of the celebrations of you saved the people from Robotropolis and, like, Sonic getting knighted and all that.
Okay. And then at some point between then and now, she left for whatever reason.
Migration something, I don't know.
Yeah,
Ponfar.
she's...
Listen.
You see, I would take that if it were Penders. But this is not a Pendy's story.
Well, but clearly she left for some reason, and she's here with this other dragon. It's like
Right.
you get dragon mating season. That's what this is, I think.
I think it
Jesus.
is. I don't like that they did this in a retcon. Like I don't like this retcon doesn't work.
No, it
And
really
also,
doesn't.
well, we'll get into it, but there are other things that I still don't like about this.
Yes, so Zan, this Eastern style dragon. It's weird that we have both types with no real
Eh,
I don't know how that works. I guess a lot of series have
It
done
it
that,
just
but
works, and I
yeah,
mean,
no, that's not. I don't think that's that big of a deal. They could just be different species of dragon.
all right. Well, in any case, that's far less of a problem than the fact that yes, we have a domestic abuse case here.
Oh boy.
man, been a while since one of those.
I
Oh.
we covered this back when it was Hershey and Drago. Um, but I really wish
Yeah.
that this comic would depict abuse as something other than just angry guy who hits you, because there's such a wide variety, such a diverse flavor palette of real life abuse.
Christ. All right. Yeah.
Like either commit to it or don't is my opinion.
I. I mean, yeah. I guess.
I would rather don't, because I'd rather keep things lighthearted for Sonic.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like maybe don't show our characters being traumatized or being abused.
Well, and so it's like that's the thing, is that we do get that in other parts of the series, because look at fucking Sally and Elias, but
I mean,
um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Just you're too basic, and it just comes off as forced. Like Zan has no personality other than rah.
I just don't get the point of this.
It
Why is
really,
this a thing?
it really does just like bring up questions of what's the purpose of this.
Yeah, because it's not like it says anything about Dulcie, and it's not like it really says anything about how the humans relate or Sonic and others. It's just kind of a weird thing that's right here in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
They were trying to set up something here, and maybe they'll follow up with it more in the future. Because the idea seems to be that, like, Dulcie, I don't know. I don't understand. Zan keeps getting cut off. He keeps ranting about stuff. Mostly he's angry. But there's one part where he mostly just wants him to leave. But there's this one part where they're like, oh, Dulce, you're listening to these so-called friends. Where were they when you needed? And he gets cut off. As if they're retconning that the freedom fighters, like, didn't help Dulce with something at some point. And that's why she left, which I really don't like that, if you're just going to throw that in.
Yeah, that doesn't. I'm gonna be honest. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, why wouldn't the freedom fighter, unless they were like
Well,
busy with something, why would they not?
I was under the impression that whatever she would have needed them for was something after she left, and since she apparently fucking left without telling anybody, how could they have known?
Sure.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what he's talking about, if I'm honest, because I can remember one other thing with Dulcie between now and the Flynn era, and I don't even know if she shows up in the Flynn era now that I'm saying it. Maybe not. In any case, and I don't think that thing is between her leaving and now. I think it's set after this. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Well,
It's weird.
it is odd.
Which makes that line at best an abandoned plot line, which is not really good.
Well, yeah, even worse then. But yeah, Dulce has issues, and then Gunn comes in and says, "All right, I've had enough of this. We're just gonna shoot him." And then Sonic is like, "Nah."
Well, so
Nah.
they shoot like a net muzzle on him, and then they're like, "Oh, look, there's a girl dragon too. Kill that one." And Sonic's like, "No, stop." Um, um, but then Zan breaks out, and so they just fight him instead.
Yeah.
Um, actually, you know what? I see the answer here, which is that Bunny makes a comment about one of Dulcie's arms being wounded, and she says the Overlanders did it to her. And you can
Oh,
see she actually has an arm and a sling. I didn't notice that before.
yeah. I mean, I did notice that.
I thought Zen did that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's actually what I
It
thought.
was Zan. She lies at first and says it's the
Oh,
I
Overlanders.
was wrong about the over. Yeah, so what the fuck is he talking? Okay, sorry. Weirdly written comic. Who cares? They fight him. The cave caves in, and I guess he's dead.
yeah.
See, this is the cherry on top of the dirt, because there's this thing going on, and then Zan gets beat up, and there's this moment where like Bunny and Dulcie talk, and they're like, "Oh, abuse sure is bad," and then Zan just dies. Like, it seemed like they were gonna try to do something with this, and then they didn't.
Like we
Yeah,
had to be taught abuse is bad.
well, Zan, he dies, and Dulcie gets all of one word and zero facial expressions to show how she feels about this. Like, what were you guys doing? I honestly don't get any of this.
It's this feels like filler.
Stop. We can't call everything we don't like filler. It feels like
It's
it,
not
yes, but
filler.
I
It's
know
not filler because filler
know.
doesn't attempt to do something
that's true,
and then
this
just
is actually
stop,
like
peter out.
That's
Filler
true.
just does nothing the whole way
That's
through.
true. This feels like
stupid.
I don't know. I mean, yes, it does feel like that.
I don't know. It is.
There isn't even a culmination at the end with Gunn because, like I said, I thought something was going to come up, and obviously Sonic and Gunn weren't getting along throughout the story. And then at the end, it's like, oh, all's well that ends well. Like, they don't even yell at Gunn for lying about the dragon because it turns out that Gunn, like, went to this island and attacked first. And that's the real reason, well, I mean, aside from being a jerk, that Zan is furious and just wants everyone to leave.
Right. I mean, it's like and wanting everyone to leave. That's not like that's fair enough, I guess.
It's not really a crime, no.
Yeah.
We're assisting in Station Square imperialism to some extent.
Exactly. Like, they just don't care.
Well, and that is actually something that they want you to understand is true, even though they do have the good thing of them accepting the refugees, but yeah, I don't know. It is impressive when you can get me to say this story did Dulcie the Dragon dirty.
True.
Yeah.
I don't like it. But hey, let's see how Penders' side of the story goes. This is Reunification Part 2. Penders writing, Don Best and Ken Penders on art now, which is unfortunately going to be a problem later on. He's gonna start correcting a bunch of Don's line art to make it look worse, and that's gonna continue for a while.
Fun.
And I did not write a summary for this. We have Johnny Ka in the past, and everybody's back now, and then Dimitri has some plans, I guess.
Really showing how much
Right.
you love this story.
I think Penders I forget to do summaries for more than anybody else in these comics, and it's because nothing fucking happens.
I mean, yeah.
So, Gruckles did just take everyone out of Dimitri's magic memory hole. They're all back. And Leonda decides, alright, we just have to kill him now.
Just for some reason.
Well, so yeah, there's something going on here, and it's going to become more apparent later. But they're suddenly portraying Dimitri much more. Shoot, he's much like I can't. The word is escaping me. Dimitri is much more.
Pragmatic?
What?
Pragmatic?
I don't know. No, that's not the word. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't immediately see Dimitri like, oh, he's gonna only do terrible things because he's actually been helping Knuckles lately.
Right.
sorry, he's been helping Gruckles lately.
Yes, of course.
But Lian Da has been like steaming in the background this whole time.
She
And
has been fuming
so
very
she's like,
hard.
it's time for murder. I've had enough of this.
I've had enough of helping. I must kill.
I'm tired of being nice. I just want to go apeshit.
Jeez.
Yeah, but Dimitri's like, don't be rash, you stupid granddaughter. Um, and yeah, Echidna Girl finally does introduce herself as Jonica. Even though we immediately get an understanding of who she is because she sees Lorelei and is like, "Oh my god, it's Grandma."
Yeah, Penders just wants to hide their real name for some reason.
Yeah, I don't understand what the purpose of hiding her name is.
It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, it's Lara Sue. Of
Yeah, it
the
is.
Lara
Whoop-de-doo.
Sue
Yeah.
Chronicles, Penders' pet character of all his pet characters, a black hole of continuity so massive that she will destroy the. She's fine, perfectly normal girl, really.
It almost sounds like you're quoting something.
No, I just wrote that.
Okay.
I'm quoting me.
There you go.
But yeah, Gruckles checks in with his mom to say, yeah, everything's fine. The Brotherhood are talking amongst themselves like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, I think this is the first time that Locke sees Gruckles as Gruckles.
Yes, I think
yeah.
so.
Because it
And this
happened
is
after that he was quantum beamed.
yeah, and this is
Right.
the first moment where Locke is finally like, maybe I shouldn't have microwaved the baby after all.
Oh, God, kill me.
Yeah. Also, they're like, "Where's brother Matthias and where's Hawking?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, they're dead again." Even though that doesn't matter, they could just come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. I was hoping they'd get some rest, but no.
Never.
Not even death can save you from the Brotherhood.
God.
Yeah. So everybody's congregating, or rather, the two separate groups are. But then Dimitri jumps in. Remington points a gun at him, and Gruckles is like, "No, stop. We gotta not have this happen. You gotta listen to him." And that's why it's called reunification, is because Gruckles and Dimitri both pull ugly Penders faces, and Dimitri is like, "It's time for the Dark Legion to reintegrate and reunify with Echidnopolis."
Yep,
It's
so
like,
this is Dimitri's grand plan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that's your choice, buddy. That you kind of had your chance.
Yeah, I think let the people of Echidnopolis decide on that. Which, granted, I don't know if I trust them.
Well, so they do end up getting a say.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, pretty clear. This isn't meant to be like, oh yeah, this is an obvious good thing that everyone should agree on because it's Dimitri. He hasn't changed
Right.
that much.
Right.
But he is trying a different tack that normally wouldn't work, except he has God on his side now. So they don't really have much of a choice. Gruckles could literally force this, and he doesn't quite. But you know, everyone respects them. So
Right.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes in this next issue, or rather, the next couple issues, with Sonic number 108. But there's something much more interesting on the cover of this than anything concerning Gruckles.
Damn right
well,
there
Gruckles
is.
isn't even on this cover because
Exactly.
nobody cares about that. We only care about my boy. Look at that guy in the background.
Hell yeah.
Return of the original Dr. Robotnik.
Hell
Huh.
yeah.
This isn't even a false advertisement. Like you might think it would
That's
be.
true,
Like,
it
oh, it's just
isn't.
another like parallel universe thing or something. No, it's not.
That's
Yeah,
true.
and frankly, the frontispiece here, I believe this is our first bit of artwork from artist Jay Axer, who will become a staple of these comics and is really fucking good. Look at this thing. With Eggman with the Robotniks in his reflected glasses.
Oh yeah. No, that looks great.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. Um, so yes, this is Robotnik times 2 equals Trouble, which is drawn by Ron Lim and written by Benny Lee. Uh, I don't know if you guys know what's up with Benny Lee. I'm gonna not reveal it and see if you guys can figure it out. Um,
Okay.
Another puzzle.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Due to the time-space disruption of Gruckles, the original Dr. Robotnik finds himself revived in Robotropolis. Shenanigans ensue.
Yes, that is a
Yeah,
perfect
pretty
summary.
much. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, although I say Gruckles, he's red on the monitor, so that's actually Knuckles. Um,
Yeah, that is weird. He was drawn that way one other time too, I think.
Yes.
yeah, we had one Gruckles issue where it was actually Knuckles. But
Yeah.
yes, it's original Robotnik, he's back. It's Julian.
Holy
I am
crap.
so happy to see my boy once again, and he's facing down the imposter too. It's marvelous.
Truly hideous in limb style, though. I suppose that's
He does
fitting, but-
he does do a great job of drawing him as just fucking gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is great. I love that.
No,
He
I'm
doesn't.
I'm not complaining. I guess I don't know how I feel about the giant chin, but
The multi-chin is
he
interesting.
looks like a Dragon Ball GT villain. I already made that joke.
That Devin, that hasn't stopped you in the past.
No.
I get the impression that being torn into atoms had a bit of effect on the guy. 'Cause
Probably,
he
yeah.
looks kind of tired all the time.
He looks tired. He looks like he's kind of melting.
Yeah, there's especially a big point where he does look like a melting ice cream cone. But yeah, he tries to take control of Robotropolis, and I want to know. He says, "What exactly are you supposed to be?" And Eggman says, "I could ask the same question. You guys have met before."
That's true. They
That
have.
is true.
I guess
and
they should also-
Eggman literally,
Eggman is also a version of him anyway, so he should just be, yeah, I'm you, but metal.
I may be
okay.
taking
Well,
it too
here's
literal.
the thing. Original Robotnik hasn't seen Eggman.
No, I'm aware of that, but Eggman can just tell him I'm you. Just I'm the version of you you've already met that you
I
met
think
a long
he's
time ago.
probably just being,
Yeah, so it makes
Eggman?
sense that
Okay.
Robotnik wouldn't know. Eggman should, but
Sure.
he maybe does. So anyway,
I think he's just egging him on,
yeah.
so to speak.
Robotnik runs out of there though because he can't control any of this stuff. He can't do anything.
Right.
And we enter on the Freedom Fighters, the Sonic and friends playing hide and seek.
Oh boy, more of the Freedom Fighters just fucking around.
Listen, we haven't
There's
had
nothing wrong with messing around a little
No,
bit
but I
every
feel
now
like
and then.
they spend so much time just dicking around.
I don't think we have had something like that for a while because we've had
No,
all
we
these
haven't
I
had it in
agree.
we haven't had it in a while. That's true. We
that's-
had it so often in the classic era that that we start seeing it again, and my eye starts twitching.
Well, it's jarring for me because it's like we've had so much going on, and now we're playing hide and seek like
Yeah.
a bunch of small children.
Yeah.
I love the illustration of Rotor underwater, where he just looks like a floating corpse at the bottom of the sea.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure they're all just humoring Tails, who probably suggested it because they are hiding from
probably.
Tails.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. They're like, yeah, Tails, we'll play hide and seek for a little while, bud.
Yeah, I guess a 9-year-old might still have a yeah.
Tails has some level of innocence still.
Yeah, but they get interrupted by Robotnik coming out of the bushes.
God, that drawing of him on the bottom of that page is gross.
He's
It's
gross.
Great.
I kind of love it.
Well, the guy has been through stuff even since coming back, because what he explains is that Eggman, aka Robo Robotnik, is way worse than he ever was.
Which, granted, we already kind of knew.
Yeah, well, so yeah, that's the thing.
Maybe not to such a level though.
In Robo Robotnik's appearances with original Robotnik, we didn't really get to see his truly evil side.
We didn't get to see how sadistic he is.
He was kind of amongst a whole bunch of chaos, so didn't get to really let loose.
Right.
But upon one little planet, he has caused much misery, and so now Robotnik gets to see kind of what he's truly able to achieve. And this is a great moment because it's what we know, but sometimes characters say things and you're like, okay, whatever, you're telling but not showing. No, this is telling after it has been shown quite clearly. And I'm like, yes,
right.
This is very logical. I believed, even though maybe I shouldn't have, I believed completely that this Robotnik was just like, no, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, oh, that's gonna be interesting, but also like, I did not think that the Freedom Fighters would actually trust him.
Well, that bit I don't. Yeah.
That's the thing, is that you say it's telling and not showing, but then having shown it. But it's showing and then telling and then showing again and playing it up for the cameras, because yes, they're like, all right, well, I guess he might as well just live in Knothole. What else are we gonna do with him? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking?
Well, what the hell?
No, that does not follow from what I was just talking about.
Jesus.
No. So I believe that Robotnik would flee from Robotropolis, taken over by a much more evil version of himself.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that.
Max, who was banished and driven insane by this dude, should not be like, oh, well, he looks kind of beat up. I'm sure he's harmless. No, that does not follow.
That definitely doesn't follow, yeah.
Well, and this is the thing, is that in Eggman being more evil than Robotnik, they dumbed down Robotnik by giving us this montage of the fucking Sonic Boom episode where Eggman is Sonic's shitty roommate. We have these panels of him just being a lame weenie to be around.
Lame weenie.
Which
I like this a lot.
I also think that it's funny, to be clear. This is like,
it is funny.
It's like a throwback to the classic comics where he's just kind of petty.
Right.
No, yeah. I always thought you do see it with Eggman too, to be fair. But I think the sort of the petty villain is much larger in original Robotnik, and he's just going back to that. He's just having some fun messing with Sonic for a little bit, because he just came back, like I said, for being torn to atoms. So he's like, I'm not gonna try too hard here, but I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun. I think this is great, and it is funny to see.
Yeah. Very, very, very weird story, but yeah, no, it is fun, and yeah, basically, so that lasts like a week, and then I'm not sure how I feel about this next part, because Robotnik Prime decides, well, we need to go up against Eggman. I need to reclaim my city from him, which doesn't seem like something the Freedom Fighters should be helping him with.
Not really.
I guess maybe their take is that this one is easier to get rid of. Probably true.
Yeah. So as I said, the whole not throwing him in jail, I don't believe. Even this, I might not believe. Although, it happens enough in fiction in general, honestly, where heroes join with villains. It's just a trope.
Yeah, and that happens.
This is as believable as anything, and I do think that the justification is enough. Yes, this guy, they literally killed him. They can't. You blow up Eggman, he just gets a new body. So
yeah,
right.
So they go there, they fight, but then of course it's all a trap.
Of course.
Wait, on the way there, I really like this line where original Robotnik is talking to Sally, and they're like, maybe after I've reclaimed my city, we can become allies. And Sally's just like, whatever. Like, she's not having it.
Yeah.
Sally definitely is not she's definitely not believing what Robotnik's saying.
It's
Yeah.
definitely the work of the stupid king, I would say. But
Right.
yes, yeah, it's a trap. What do you know? Whoa!
Oh, ho, ho, ho! Surprise, surprise! The gang got boned.
Yeah, they get stuck in a matter fluctuator that disassembles molecules. Just say disintegrator. Uh,
Yeah, just say disintegrator. Come on, guys.
um,
Be gobbledygook.
and they're like, "Oh no!" But then Sally and Nicole effortlessly thwart it
Because
because they saw
we
it coming
can't
all along.
we can't have
Uh-huh.
any kind of fucking anything.
Well, it's just there's not a lot of stakes. They're in there for less than a full page.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. You can't have any kind of stakes or anything. It's kind of annoying.
Also, I feel like I haven't seen Nicole in ages, but maybe
Yeah, yeah. No,
True.
I don't think we have.
much less her having dialogue. But
Especially Nicole having dialogue. Like we really haven't seen that in a while.
yeah, what's hilarious is that they get out of that and then it's specifically Bunny says, "Whose numbskull idea was this anyway?" And then they get in a fight, and while they're fighting, the freedom fighters just leave. And
Yeah.
and we say goodbye to Robotnik Prime again because Eggman just punches him and he disappears.
Yeah.
The reveal is that apparently the Freedom Fighters knew all along that it was a trap, and furthermore, they knew that the original Robotnik was unstable, which is how he just gets punched away. Goes
Yeah.
back to not
Right.
existing at all. And so they just went along with it, and that's the reason. But that still doesn't fully excuse it because they only learned that after Dr. Quack examined them, which is after the king accepted them in. So once again, the king is still being an idiot. But I'll give the freedom fighters a pass
Yeah.
in this one
Yeah.
instance.
I think for me, the the thing that bothers me is that, we had Robotnik and he was gone, and I wouldn't want him permanently back, obviously. But it
Sure.
does mean that Eggman punching through him and accidentally hitting Snively, which is funny actually, but that's his true and final death in these comics. Which is a little bit less climactic compared to Endgame, which Endgame still matters.
Yeah.
It's not like it invalidates that, but it's like,
No, but it's still underwhelming compared to Endgame.
yeah, it
See,
doesn't.
I see where you're coming from, but I don't think the story. Okay, the covers always play it up though.
Sure.
But aside from the cover, it's the story doesn't set out to be anything super crazy or grand. It is
Yeah.
silly through and through. Sometimes in annoying ways, sometimes in ways that I personally enjoy. But no, it's just a little thing, and if it wasn't the fact that it was centered around this big, oh, what the heck, original Robotnik is back, it would be completely harmless.
Yeah,
If this was just any, I don't know, a parallel version of Robotnik that was pulled in by Gruckles, for
that's
instance,
that's a fair
it,
point.
it would have worked just as
Yeah.
well. Um,
Sure.
Now,
And
granted, the fact that it is the original Robotnik, and I do think he displays his traits, as we said, back.
yeah,
He acted like he was back back in the early comics, really.
Yeah.
I appreciate that just because I missed the man. Uh,
yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
I'm
that's
glad to
totally
see him
fair.
again one more time, and I personally think, and this is a good way of doing it. Maybe not the best way. Certainly, this isn't perfect, but I think it's a good way to bring him back without completely rocking the boat. I don't think it wrecks Endgame. I think saying, "Oh, this is his final end," he gets punched back. No one is gonna think of that.
No,
when they
people are
think of
still
the
gonna
end
think of
Robotnik.
Endgame.
Yeah, well, and that's the one that really matters, so that's fair.
Right.
And I do at least I'll say this, because this issue it also gives us one of the best things that Penders has ever drawn. Specifically, this illustration of Robotnik, that is to say, Eggman, on the data file page, because I think that it's not a terrible looking Eggman, and the fact that he's holding the Robotnik head actually looks really cool to me.
Is that
That
a
does look
Penders
pretty
drawing?
cool.
Really?
Yeah,
I would
it's
not
his
have
diary.
known.
Yeah, no, I would not have. I would not have
That's
thought that was
that's a good
Pendy's.
drawing.
Yeah.
You can tell in this case because of the eyes, because he always oversizes the eyes a little bit.
Mm. Well, that kind of works out though, because he's wearing. Are those sunglasses on this version of Eggman?
We've talked about this. So this is obviously the modern Eggman design, which wears
Uh-huh.
sunglasses, but they don't draw
Uh-huh.
the bridge between them. And Lem
Right.
says,
It
"Oh,
makes it
it's
just looks like
because
he has lenses.
yeah, it's because he's a robot." The thing is, they do that when he's not a robot too. So
Yeah, well, it just makes it
I
look
don't
like he
have
has
to account
lenses
for things
over
we
his
haven't
eyes.
seen yet.
yeah, I know.
It's true.
Anyway, so but me saying, "Oh, this is good Penda's artwork." I should talk about the other good artwork in this, which is the second story in this issue. This is A Girl Named Hope, written by Bollers, drawn by Jay Axter. Sally reads a long letter from the orphaned Hope Kintober, pleading for an opportunity to stay in Knothole after escaping Robotropolis. Look at this art; it's way better.
Oh yeah, it is way better.
I am very happy to see Jay Axter in this series because he was kind of, I don't know if he was a notorious fan artist because this was all when I was like 2 years old, so I don't know shit about the community at the
Sure.
time. But I like Jay Axter's art both because it's very, very polished and properly proportionate, and also because they hired him to draw edgy shit. Like, there's gonna be points where they have deliberately asked him to draw, like, Mobians with guns, and it's because his reputation in the community at the time was for edge shit. Specifically, this amazing image of, like, goth emo Tails that says 9-inch Tails on it, where he's got a gun. Um,
Uh-huh.
the point being, I like this artist.
Right.
Um,
No, it does look nice, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, the art looks good.
yeah. So, the actual story here, right. Sally gets a letter from Hope, the second most traumatized girl in Mobius.
Yes, yes.
The second.
I'm being facetious, but
So they explain their whole story,
Right.
in
Yeah,
case
it's a
you
big
haven't
recap.
been reading all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
comics up until this point.
In case we forgot in like a few issues.
well, let's
It's
be
been
honest,
more
things
than a
have been
few.
hairy for a little while, but
Yeah.
I wish it were not sepia toned, but there is some stuff here that I didn't quite understand. Because he talks about basically being in stasis for a lot of the ship journey.
Right.
I mean,
But
for what difference that makes.
I still don't. I still don't get how their space travel works because, like, they're in stasis. That to me means they don't have faster than light. But
It's only
The
been like
travel
10
doesn't
years.
make any sense at all because it says,
Mhm.
"Oh, we had to go back because we ran out of fuel."
right,
Huh?
they
Surely
have
you wouldn't
no.
be able to get back
They
if
have
you were running
well,
out of fuel.
well, maybe they had enough just to get back to Mobius. But so my problem,
So what? They
they
circled
had
around and they were coming on their way
they had
back
no
already.
purpose. Maybe. Well, they had no way of refueling, which for deep space voyages, fuck
Pretty
you.
bad idea.
Of course you would. B, they were gone for like 10 years. They could not have gotten very far away from Mobius because we know Mobius is Earth, so we also know what stars are near Earth. You can't get that far in 10 years.
They probably didn't go all the way across the galaxy.
That's
That line probably was an exaggeration. That's all I can.
I'm
imagine.
sure it was just an exaggeration, but it's an exaggeration that bothers me.
Yeah. Well, in any case, we do get some funny things here. I love the drawing of Sonic as a scary monster.
Oh yeah.
He's not even that scary looking.
He just kind of looks like the werehog.
Yeah, he looks a
Yeah,
bit
that's
like
true.
an early werehog.
But it means that we get
And it's just
redraws
odd.
of some of the stuff that we have seen in the series. So her reacting to the Mobian, Eggman coddling his family. I will say some of the humans look a little weird in Axter's style. I think he knew how to draw Sonic characters better, which is an inverse from what we normally see.
Dude also knows how to make Robo Eggman look awesome, and
Oh, hell
again,
yeah.
I so wish that we stuck with this. Like, it looks great.
Yeah.
Or just to at least show it more often.
Okay, yeah, that would have been nice too.
Yeah, show us Robo Eggman being, Robo more often. Also, call him Eggman more often.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't
they've
think
barely
that's
done that.
been officially like I think they stick to it eventually, but at the moment they
Sure.
still
No, I
haven't
mean,
let go of Robotnik.
yeah, no,
I just do it
I
for
get that.
clarity, but
No, I
Yeah,
know. I
and
mean,
technically it took the games until Adventure 2 to be doing it consistently, so...
yeah, it's true.
fair.
And we just had Adventure 2, so... Um, but yeah, basically, the thing about this is a little odd to me is that I think basically it's just Hope saying, I don't really want to live in Station Square with the other humans.
Yeah, can I live with you guys instead?
Can I just stay here? But it's like kind of already been staying here, so it's mostly just like, do I
I,
have to be like deported from here? And they're like, no.
Well, here's the thing, though. She talks about her sad story, and then she talks about how everyone got out except their dad and grandmother, and then doesn't bring up the fact that they were just left behind. Once again, I don't understand.
Well, and she didn't bring that up at the time either. It is very, very weird. Yeah.
yeah.
You should
I
have.
don't understand why she feels so cool being. I mean, I guess she doesn't feel so cool, but she seems to.
She
Well,
doesn't blame them.
no. Yes, and she seems pretty friendly, given at the end the way she reacts.
Yeah. I think the whole thing is that 99 to what was it? 105 that we did last time. That should have
Mhm.
all been one big story, I think. And from Eggman getting
Yeah.
roboticized untouched to starting to roboticize humans to Sally freeing the Mobians to learning that humans can't move when they're roboticized and all that. That all should have been one big story. It shouldn't have been separated into chunks because then you could have made the excuse that, because of the barriers or because of, I don't know, the toxins or something, they couldn't take the humans with them. The way that it is in pieces right now, it just makes it seem contrived. But you're clearly not meant to believe that they could have taken the humans and just decided not to, even though
They
that's what
literally
happened.
just walked away
I
from
know that's what
Eggman.
happened. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
So, okay, now that whole in-universe stuff is covered, out of universe, I guess they killed off Nate. They're like, oh wait, we still need a human. Hope will do.
She seems like such a random, I mean, not random choice, but like such a odd
It
choice.
is. It is kind of out of the blue. I don't understand the point. Why do they need a human character here?
Yeah, A, why do we need a human character? And also, B, like, why do we need. Why does it need to be Hope if we need one?
I mean, who else would it be? She's at least kind of related to Eggman's family.
I mean, technically, she
So,
isn't.
like,
That's why I said kind of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true.
Nate wasn't related either.
Well, Nate I would say Nate was more related to Eggman because they
I mean,
worked
they had
together.
worked together. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
Hope literally
Um,
did not know Eggman.
I don't know. We don't have many notable humans in these comics in general. They have to stick her somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, fair. Yeah,
with
well,
the other ones, I don't know why they split her up.
No, I don't know why
They're,
she needs to be here in Knothole. And frankly, in Knothole, I wouldn't say that she has a lot of plot lines anyway, so...
okay, I was about to say, maybe we'll see how this works, but
There is something that they end up using for that is absolutely hilarious as a coincidence. So
interesting.
we'll see that a little bit later.
I am glad that they're back by Eggman's side, but before this whole arc, it would have actually made more sense to have Snively here, because I just don't understand what Snively was doing back in Robotropolis. Imagine, because Snively literally worked with them at one point.
Right.
Imagine we had Snively as a regular part of Knothole, and I wouldn't want it to last forever, but for a while, they were like working with them, and like it wasn't,
Right.
they don't quite get along. I thought,
Yeah.
if they need a human, that's way more interesting.
Well, and
Sure.
frankly, if you're gonna stick them, in various places, maybe have both Snively and Hope here, and play off the fact that these half siblings could not be more different.
Right.
Better and better.
You stick Hope on Snively like watch duty, like make sure your brother doesn't fuck with us.
Yeah, that would have actually given Hope a
It
purpose.
would have given her a purpose, and also, to me at least, what it would have done is allow her to build up the freedom fighters' trust.
Yeah.
True.
Like,
Yeah.
have her catch Snively doing sketchy shit a couple times.
Yeah. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's Pender's time anyway.
What the
Oh.
heck? We have 3 stories in one issue now. It couldn't escape from Gruckles.
Not only can we not escape from Gruckles, Gruckles is also bringing down the length of the other stories. I don't know if they really needed the more length, but
I mean, I would say that the Hope story, for
the
having
Hope
as much
story
art as
definitely.
it does, is
I
like.
think the Hope story could have done with more length. The Sonic story, I
I
mean
think
the
the Sonic
robotic
story
story,
was exactly
sure.
as long as it needed to be.
Yeah, the Sonic story, I wouldn't have been opposed to it being longer, but I don't think it needed it.
Yeah.
Well, the
Well,
thing is, it was an actual self-contained story, whereas
Right.
before it's like an ongoing. As you said, maybe the rest of that I didn't really respond. I think that might have been a little bit much to have that all together, a little unrealistic. But it would have helped if it was just like, in issues on their own and not cramped together with Knuckles.
I didn't mean all in a
Sure.
single issue. I just meant one continuous plot line that didn't have
Okay,
Right.
well,
subdivisions
yeah,
or
then of
anything.
Right.
course, I think we all agree that Gruckles doesn't need to be here.
Yeah.
Again, these Gruckles stories just make me wish again for the Knuckles comics to be back.
Yeah, and they also make me
Indeed.
wish to die. No, anyway.
I mean, fair enough.
Reunification Part 3. Pender's writing, Dawn drawing. Gruckles argues with his mom about the fact that he's supporting a load of fascist nutters, but the Echidna High Council may have different ideas, as conspiracy brews in the background.
Oh shit.
Oh my god! But yes, that you got it. That's it.
I
That's
did a
the
good job
story.
because that was a summary off the cuff. I forgot to write one again.
Well,
We're
that
noticing a
works quite
pattern.
well. Um,
Well, it's because what is this?
There's
We have
nothing
this,
going on in this story. It's
we have
just
this
fucking Knuckles talking to Lara Lay.
crazy scene with a liberal mom trying to make her son understand why being disappointed with Obama is not a reason to listen to like Ben Shapiro, and Knuckles is like, no,
Jesus
you don't understand.
Christ!
He's got really interesting ideas, the natural
Oh,
hierarchies,
Jesus Christ.
and then Lara Leia is like, well, you know what? I'm pregnant. Checkmate, liberal. And it's like, what are we doing here?
What are we doing here,
bravo,
Devin?
bravo, Devin.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, so Bruce, I will object to you saying nothing is going on here. I do
Okay, no,
think
not
Penders is
nothing,
actually
literally.
doing stuff now. Not
I
like
guess.
a ton, but I think that's because
Maybe
he doesn't have a
that's the
ton of
problem.
space.
Maybe that's the problem. He's just not doing a whole lot.
He's still going slow, but at least he's moving now.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
maybe I'm accepting breadcrumbs, but
I
It's
should
better than just
complain.
Gruckles wanders from thing to thing.
Which, yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's true.
I'd
I'd rather shit be happening than just be having Gruckles like staring at a wall for 2 issues.
Yeah. And I definitely prefer Gruckles being chewed out by their mom than being God, which
Oh,
it's
sure,
funny
yeah.
going right from there to this.
Well, because it's his mom. He can't do anything to her.
Well, yeah, no, I mean it makes sense. It's just funny.
Yeah, no, it's funny watching.
I enjoy this scene.
It's funny watching a man with the power of God getting chewed out by his mother, who has absolutely no power other than being a mother.
Well,
Yeah,
and just being able to see like clearly and not be blinded by the plot, which is pretty powerful. That's
Yeah.
something I don't think Knuckles or Gruckles ever achieve.
yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know how much I'm supposed to be, taking Laura Leigh's side. I'm sure if you asked Penders, he would say like, "Oh, I'm a liberal. I have, I'm presenting both sides of the argument," which is
Oh,
really funny when one
God.
side is the Dark Legion.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like accidentally very realistic with how political arguments with your parents can sometimes go, in that you say a lot of different things, and then your parents just like change the subject because
I mean, to be fair, you can only discuss so much before you just hit a wall.
yeah, but
that's
it's like
true.
Knuckles being like, oh, I believe this thing, and then Laura Leigh's just like, yeah, by the way, I'm pregnant, and Windwalker's the dad, and then we just totally drop the other subject. I also like that Gruckles is like, are you sure? It's like, oh, what?
Gruckles, you're all powerful. Can't you just like, I don't know, do some mumbo jumbo bullshit to check?
Are you asking him to X-ray his mother's womb? I think he doesn't. I don't. I think it's fair to not want to do that.
That's okay. You know what? That's true. That is very true.
Anyway,
Anyhow,
weird scene.
so I am actually interested in the whole Dark Legion plotline here because Dimitri seems to actually like be playing nice for the moment. Um,
Yes.
he is actually having a discussion and making good progress apparently in making his case.
Yeah. So
God help us.
this is Pender's reframing nature versus technology as more fundamentalism versus radical progression. I think it's like Dimitri is sort of like a techno accelerationist rather than just an outright control people guy.
Right.
But it's like it's kind of insane to say that, to see them just debating it instead of them just trying to wrestle him to the ground because of everything he's done.
Right.
Especially since
Well,
everything that he's done in the comic up to this point suggests more that he wants to be on top of the previous theocracy than really wanting things to be any more equal or fair. Maybe his mind has
Sure.
changed, but he never says my mind has changed. He said we've never been the villains they thought we were,
Which is a real spicy thing to say.
Yeah, that's shut the fuck up language.
Yeah, it
no.
really is.
So, I once again, Knuckles endorsed them, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's the Guardian. We have
Yeah,
to listen to the
that's true. Yeah,
Guardian."
yeah, they're all like, "Oh shit, the Guardian." He says, "Listen to them." All right, let's do it.
So
Yeah.
that's all it takes on that front. And as far as the whole mind not changed, I think Dimitri's mind has changed, but he wouldn't admit that. He does, as I say,
Yes.
seem to be acting differently.
Okay,
Now,
well,
is
swallow
it
your
all a
pride
front or
then.
not? Who knows? But he's certainly he's not talking. His talk does not match his previous actions. I think
Right.
that's obvious.
I think
But
okay, you know what it is? Put him down on his knees and have him grovel before them, and then maybe I'll believe him. It's about how he
Fair
carries
enough.
himself. It's a presentation.
Right. Yeah.
I do find it surprising that they're listening to him, though. I don't. Then again, the whole. Now that I think about it, actually, we don't see a whole lot of like the proper Echidna Council, so maybe I don't know these guys so well. I don't know. So I guess we saw them like way back when this dude like, became God.
Right. But
But
well,
it's been
I
it's been
doubt
a
it's the
few
same one.
100 years since then, so I don't know. Maybe the leadership has shifted, and people are more open to this now, so to speak.
They
I
they
guess.
tried to overturn the last election. They tried to send in their own puppet candidate.
That is also
Anyway.
true.
Anyway,
Look, that was months ago for me. Okay, give me a break.
Not hey, that was
I'm
the
being
Echidna High
mostly
Council is
facetious.
the Echidna High Council has slept since then.
Well, yeah, Gruckles does say like, I mean, it's just not very well justified. Yeah, he says, you need to trust me. Well, and then just go, okay, it's not very, whatever, fine, take it, take my agency. Anyway, so Larasu, or Johnny Ka, whatever you want to call her, she's rushing in, and Remington is now getting ready to fire his gun at somebody. And this is supposed to be how Knuckles dies in her future.
Uh-huh.
Are you kidding?
Uh-huh.
Come on.
Well, they are, but
No, I know, but it's like, please. He has the power to make you all materialize out of thin air. You can't stop a laser. Also, there's no build-up for why Remington would want to shoot him, other than, I guess, the fact that he's defending Dimitri.
that is what they're trying to go off of.
Right.
Yes, well, I mean, I don't think Penders was trying that hard to make you believe it. Like, I do think he intended you to see that it's a trick. Well, I think it's more trying to make you wonder what's really going on here. and I do think there is something interesting going on here. Yeah, the framing is kind of lame. Like you could have, it is so obvious.
Yeah.
Um, but I once again say, even though Gruckles is not like, um, having a mental breakdown like he was at first, um, I do think he hasn't really grasped the whole "you think and you do it" thing yet.
Yeah.
Um, because I
Mm,
feel like he would be carrying himself differently and actually using that,
right.
if he did. Um, like he wouldn't need to go through this whole shebang, if that were the case. I think.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe I'm giving Gruckles too much credit, but
Yeah. Well, let's pick up that plot line in the next issue. Not the next episode. We're still here.
mm,
uh, th-
Mm.
this is Sonic number 109, and that's Comic Sans on his speech bubble there. I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
I feel like the comic would be better with no speech bubble on the cover. Um,
I
well, yeah,
guess.
it's be better with a different cover because it's just deceptive again. Um,
yeah, maybe you should have put Jay Axter's front piece on the cover instead.
Yeah.
why? Who drew this actually? Because like they just drew regular walruses, which are weirding me out.
That's still Spaziant, but yes, that is weird. I mean, we have normal animals in these comics sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but the walruses are close enough that it's confusing me. Like the bird people are different than these birds here. Yeah,
Yeah.
not
Oh, but you're saying that the walruses here kind of look almost anthro?
yeah.
I
It's
Yeah, I
guess
can
so.
see that.
Yeah, they do kind of.
It
Yeah.
does kind of look like that one has an arm sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
But this is I heard it through the pipeline, written by Benny Lee and drawn by Ron Lim. The Freedom Team travels to the far north, hoping to use the sword's power to free Rotor's family from their mind control. Um,
Yeah, so it doesn't really fix Rotor just leaving, but I guess, it kind of makes sense, even though he couldn't have known that. That oh yeah, use the sword because yeah, that the sword can do that.
yeah, I think it's a good idea,
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Sure. Yeah.
But I do think that it should have been that Rotor's not here, and then they independently, get a call from him, like, guys, can you help me? Um,
That would have made way more sense.
Yeah, it would have made a lot more sense.
because
Can't
it's not
think
like
of any
he's
reason why Rotor needed to come back.
it's not like he's done much since he got back. Um,
I also have to ask a question. Where is Rhoda right now? Like, is he sitting in like in the basement of the castle?
I assume this is a lab for developing stuff somewhere.
Oh, you know what? Never mind. I thought they were in the castle, but they're not. They're not. Never mind.
Yeah. Sonic looking
Um,
particularly skunkly
are
in this
you
issue.
sure? Well, I
I don't
mean,
think
no,
so. It
you're
says
right. You're right. You're right.
minutes later inside Castle Acorn. They specified that they're in Castle
Okay,
Acorn now, so I assume they're not.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna use this sort of acorn strength to reverse the effects of Robotnik's neutron bomb. Did we hear it
Where
called
does
that before?
That's not a fucking
Um,
new. It doesn't matter. A neutron bomb is already a thing.
Well, it's like I didn't think that was what hypnotized them.
that's
No, a
not what they
neutron bomb would
called
just
it
a neutron bomb
before,
would just kill them.
but yeah, it was some sort of wave of something. I can't remember. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the sword is still talking to Sally inside her brain.
Oh no.
More Sally schizophrenia moments.
Um. Anyway, so they head out in their submarine. Apparently, Sonic gets seasick now. I don't think that was ever a plot line before. I guess it
I
kind of
don't.
makes
Doesn't
sense.
really matter, but
I
I
yeah.
don't
like
think
water.
I don't think he's ever had the chance to get seasick.
Maybe that drawing of him is really ugly. I said
Yeah, I hate that chunk of him.
Sonic is looking particularly skunkily throughout a lot of this issue. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but hey, at least we have a robot sea snake to attack. Question mark.
I mean, I
Yeah.
was thinking electric eel because they're being electrocuted.
Yeah, that probably makes more sense. I guess it's Robotnik can do a lot of things.
Sure, I mean, he could have also just built this.
I will say, knowing, we've talked about how, Eggman design versus metallic Eggman design. It's really weird to have regular Eggman as a robot right next to Snively, who is roboticized but is entirely gray.
Yeah.
Like, you should at
Yeah,
least
so
keep
they're,
them.
they're
Well, so previously, didn't Snively have colored clothing at least previously?
I
I
think
think
in his
so, yeah.
first appearance, yeah.
Yeah, and now
Um,
he's just like a fucking. He looks vaguely like kind of spoon esque.
Yeah, he's gone from pickle to spoon.
yeah. That is weird because it's not even the way the other Overlanders looked when they were
No,
roboticized.
they
No.
actually still had color. Snively's just monochrome
But
now.
unless this is changed again later, I think this is just what they stick with.
Oh, fun.
It's pretty inconsistent. I don't have a concrete answer. Uh, or perhaps a titanium answer. That's not a good joke. Anyway, so they attack them with the robot eel snake, and everybody has to escape to the magic marble escape pods. Um, and they,
Yeah, I don't. We haven't seen enough of Rotor's inventions for me to really know for sure. But this seems like something Rotor would make. Just yeah, bubble escape pod, sure.
Right.
yeah, and they surface on an oil rig or oil plant, and that's where all the hypnotized walruses are acting as slave laborers.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, yeah, it's just when the heroes go do the thing, this is when the villain has to be doing the thing too. It's a crazy coincidence that Eggman's just like, hey, wait a minute, there's like a hypnotized walrus herd over there. Maybe I can use them to drill for oil. Also, yeah, well, just so this was weird at first as well. I don't know why they did it, but Eggman just keeping them, unroboticized and hypnotized
Yeah.
instead.
Again,
I can't see Eggman
no,
not being like, what? That was a mistake. Let's fix that.
I still
Yeah,
don't. Have we talked about why they weren't just roboticized in the first place?
So I assume that had to do with the whole neutron bomb thing, where original Robotnik was like, let's hypnotize them all in one fell swoop. Um, and so he had like the neutron bomb that did that. And that kind of makes sense. And then he was like, "Oh, I'll roboticize him later or whatever." But uh, Eggman, would has the means to also to just fix that pretty easily,
Yeah.
I think. So
Um.
yeah, that
Yeah.
I get it kind of at first, but I don't know.
I.
Um,
I yeah.
I
it's
never
No.
really understood.
well because
Like way back, remember there was this weird bit where like Chuck wasn't roboticized in like one of the early
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
comics,
so
yeah,
early
but
on,
they were
they were
hypnotized.
called. It was called roboticization, but it was very clearly just hypnotized.
It feels like someone remembered that and did that with the
Mm,
walruses, and then it just stuck. Um,
yeah,
I
and
guess. Yeah.
the annoying thing is that hypnosis and roboticization in these contexts are functionally indistinguishable. It does not matter at all.
Right. Yeah. I
I mean,
mean,
it kind of matters with the
roboticization.
sword.
Yeah, well, so yeah, with the sword, but other than the fact that the hypnotized people are not robots, they're effectively the same thing.
Yeah, I guess it
Uh-huh.
matters afterwards because if you clear the hypnosis, they're just normal. Whereas if you clear roboticized free will, they still have a robot body and they have to deal with that.
Sure.
That's what I'm
So
saying. Yeah.
yeah. Anywho, so Rotor is blowing up the oil plant while Sally goes into magic brain trance mode with the sword, and well, they're all free actually.
Yeah.
Yep. They just kind of do it, and that's it.
After
Again.
years of this plotline being pushed off to the side
Yeah.
and ignored,
Again.
Benny Lee finished it in one issue.
Yeah. Again. Another fucking Oh yeah, we're just gonna finish something in the most anticlimactic way humanly possible.
Well, it just goes to show, was it really that hard? Why did it take so
No,
long? Why did Rotor have to go and fail multiple times?
the
And then
only
he just
reason,
brings the gang and does it instantly. You know,
yeah, the
now that I
only.
think about that, that's kind of disappointing. What does that say about Rotor?
Oh. Well, you know
Oh
what? You know
my.
what? Rotor having major confidence issues is something that will be brought up, so
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
possibly only as a reaction to this arc, but who knows?
Hmm.
But hey, you know, we concluded a plot line. That doesn't happen that often in these comics.
No,
So
That's
I'm
true.
glad that they finally did conclude this.
yeah, good on you, quotation mark Benny Lee, quotation mark. Which is why I get severely mixed feelings from the second story. And yes, we are still doing 3 stories in an issue. This is Sally and Mina in The Crush. Oh god. Baller's writing an extra drawing. Mina asks Sally for advice on courting Sonic.
Nobody asked for
Uh,
this. Nobody asked for a Mina-centric story. I did not need a Mina the Mongoose logo here. Nope. Didn't want that.
no, we know who asked for it. It was the editor.
No, I
'Cause
know.
the editor's the only
They're
one
the
who.
only one.
Yeah, exactly. The editor's the only one who cares because it gets discourse going.
Listen,
I mean,
all
it does
things
get me fired
considered,
up, but not for the reason they intended.
all things considered, it could be worse. This actually makes things better in both of their cases.
I mean, yeah, I didn't think this was a particularly bad story.
Well,
I have
because
problems with it.
I mean, I have problems with it, but it's not like I
Could have
don't
been
hate
worse.
it. Yeah,
for starters, Sally and Mina do not like detest each other, which
no,
is like one of my number one problems with love triangles is that it
I
turns
do.
people into petty bitches.
Yeah, I can appreciate. Well, I mean, here's the thing about it is like this is the thing about this love triangle is like only um Sally is going for Sonic and so's Mina, but Sally knows Mina's going for Sonic, but Mina has no idea. So
And this is the point where we actually get clued into that fact because you know it seemed like Sally was like being very jealous and all that, and I mean she was,
mhm,
but she
she was,
finally
yeah,
here learns that Sonic and Mina aren't actually dating, and that he did not
right.
consent to that kiss, and is hilarious because she learns that Mina has no idea that Sonic and Sally have even any history, I guess.
Right.
Which makes
Okay,
it
okay. Hang
No,
on a
no,
minute.
no, no. Mina
That's
does know that
not
they have
true.
history.
okay.
So,
Mina knows they have
I
history.
Am I wrong?
Mina literally says, "Oh, hey, you know Sonic,
Right. You know, you've known
better
Sonic
than
for a long time. You
for
can
a
help
long
me
time. Yeah, you can
you can help me
exactly."
try to learn about him. Try to help me court him, as you put it.
She knows full well that Sonic and Sally have a history, which actually makes it very
Right.
confusing. Like it comes off like she has
Well,
no tact.
I'm
Like
guessing.
she knows what she's doing
No,
fully,
well,
and
I
just
think it's
thinks
Mina
it's
doesn't.
okay.
I think Mina doesn't know that they have any kind of romantic history. Because I don't think a whole lot of people. I think really only the
It
freedom
doesn't
fighters are going
say
to know
one way or
that.
the other. I would give her the benefit of the doubt, but it's fair to say that like it seems weird and like slightly callous.
I would expect it with
Kind
common
of.
knowledge, personally. If she's at least if she's aware that the two of them have been around, like friends for a while, I would think she would know that.
I don't know, because I mean,
I
you would know who
guess.
Sonic and Sally are through their exploits, because they're famous for fighting Eggman. But I don't think that their intimate
I don't think
relationships have been
their
broadcast.
relationships exactly. I don't think their relationships are going to be well known.
I don't know.
Maybe.
It's a weird look either way. I admit.
Sure.
It does speak to Sally that she doesn't blow up instantly, and that is kind of surprising.
Well,
That she just kind of rolls it, and she's like, okay, sure, fine.
And if we
I'll
assume
help you.
that if we assume that Mina does not, yeah, if we assume that Mina does not know, then Sally has a great opportunity to give her horrible advice on purpose, but she doesn't.
no, she doesn't. She like actually gives him advice. Gives Mina advice, and I don't fully understand why.
This is no. I don't. This is not the turn I expected. Where it's like, oh, now they'll just be friends. Like they end on friendly terms.
Yeah,
and
it's weird. I mean, I guess I could understand now that Sally knows that. Oh, they're not actually a couple. I, I could, I guess I can understand how she could look at that and be like, okay, well, like they could be friends,
Well, but the thing is, she's clearly trying to.
right? That's the problem that I'm running into is it's
That doesn't make
obvious.
logical sense to
It's
me.
obvious that Mina is still going for Sonic, and Sally, unfortunately, is also still going for Sonic. Which,
maybe she just believes in friendly competition.
oh my god.
What? Well, see, the thing is, I could think of certain ways that this would go, but I know that they won't go that way, and so it's just confusing.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Listen, I know how it
This whole
does go,
plot
and
line.
you will never believe.
Oh, great.
Oh boy.
I just know that this. Well, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should not believe. You know, there are not. I guess there's nowhere that these comics might not go. So maybe I shouldn't take anything off the table. In which
Yeah.
case, I will once again say, this could still get worse.
I mean,
Oh, it
yeah, it
definitely
can totally
can.
get worse.
And
It could be better, and it could be worse. It could also just, I don't know, stay at this point. I wouldn't. I guess I wouldn't be angry if it stayed no, because it's still a love triangle.
listen, make no mistake. I am someone. I understand not liking anything about this plotline because I don't particularly like it.
Sure.
I am trying to be sympathetic to both these characters, and neither of them have displayed a ton of traits to make either of you love them much. So I'm just
Right.
trying to be fair, and I understand.
No,
Still
well,
not
and you
wanting to
have
see
you have the experience. Um, you have the experience of already reading these comics, so you have a little bit of um, I don't know what the right word is, but you know.
Well, experience isn't everything. Because let's look at the final story for this issue, and it's reunification again, and boy is it silly.
Thank God this says the conclusion because it's totally going to conclude.
Pander's writing, best drawing, that is to say, Dawn drawing. Laura Sue stops Remington from shooting, only to realize in horror that she has aided an assassination attempt by a traitor.
Hmm.
So Remington was shooting the guy who was going to shoot
Yeah,
Dimitri.
Dimitri.
that's sure what it looks like.
But Greckles jumped in front of it, which does nothing because he's Greckles.
Here's the thing, though. You can clearly see Remington shoot.
He's like about.
No, there's a flash.
There is a flash,
and then
here's the thing, though. It's an energy weapon. It's an energy weapon. It probably needs to charge or something.
Oh, with the charge. Okay,
maybe that's a
okay.
sight, like a laser
maybe,
sight. Yeah.
Maybe a laser.
But the thing is, the dude's already shooting, so he would have been too late then, even if she hadn't knocked him out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and they're trying, clearly they're trying to be like, oh no, I accidentally made history happen, because they're trying to imply that, like, oh, Laura Sue inadvertently killed her dad by stopping the guy who would have actually saved him. And, Greckles is lying on the floor and it's like, oh my gosh, is he dead?
Which, why the fuck why would a gun kill him?
Well, he appears like he's dead.
Yeah, I know, but like, we know,
I know.
we know full well how powerful Greckles is.
Yeah, but
everyone knows how. I think for the most part, people do know how powerful he is.
I'm not sure.
I mean, to be fair,
Dimitri has a good idea.
Yeah, Dimitri's
That's
shown that
sure.
he understands how powerful Greckles is,
but
and
everyone else, not necessarily.
I mean, I guess the question is, do they know what caused them to come back? If they do, and they know that it's Greckles, then they should know that he's like a godlike entity.
Well, just
Yeah.
because he brought them back doesn't, they don't necessarily understand the full ramifications. Regardless of that, though, I do find it hilarious that they apparently believe that he's dead, and then they just keep talking. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, okay, let's continue our conversation, though.
In fact, he is so apparently dead that Lian Da leans down and can tell that his heart isn't beating. Um, which I don't know. Is he forcibly stopping his own heart just for fun?
I mean,
Sure.
if Jotaro can do it, why can't Gruckles?
I knew you were gonna fucking make a JoJo reference.
I mean, what else am I gonna do, Devin? Come on.
Anyway, so yeah, they keep talking essentially. Do they actually? They don't reach any kind of conclusion, do they?
Not really. I don't think they do.
Not quite, but it does continue to seem to go Dimitri's way, which
Yeah.
you're right. That is kind of weird. I just certainly didn't expect it, but working apparently.
And so on her way out, well, Julie Sue runs past Laura Sue, and we see Lian Da ordering the assassination of the guy who took aim at Dimitri, I think?
Yeah, so he was arrested, and she's like, can't have him talk because he's one of my people.
Yeah, they
so
refer to him as their pigeon, so does that imply that all of this was planned out by the Legion themselves?
Or
uh,
so what I was thinking is Lian Da have her own like cabal within the Legion.
Yeah, I thought when I...
yes, this is my suspicion here, because I'm taking what I can get, and there's something interesting going on here. This to me seems like, as I said before, Dimitri was playing too nice. He's even like apparently just working out all the problems of the Legion by just talking it out. It totally seems like that's gonna work, and then something's gonna come in to screw it up. But Lian Da ain't having it. She's like, this isn't like the old Legion that would just come in and take everything forcibly. And so she hired the dude to shoot not Gruckles but Dimitri, unless she expected Gruckles to jump in the way, which that's a huge risk, by the way. Putting your leader at risk like that, that actually makes it seem like she was trying to kill Dimitri.
Right. Or at least, and trying to start something with that, which I don't know exactly what that would start, but I'd be interested. I would have honestly been interested to see where that would go.
And that's the impression that I got while reading. The weird thing is, though, Gruckles gets up like nothing happened. Laura Sue gets memory hold back to the future. That's fine. That doesn't matter. But Gruckles gets up like nothing happened, and he says he was just pretending to be dead until things cooled down, which I guess means that he really did stop his own heart on purpose. But then he tells Dimitri, the only thing you have to worry about is the traitor in your group. And Dimitri's like, the traitor in the Dark Legion, but who? And so you assume that he's talking about Lian Da, right?
Right.
I don't know if they ever pick that up again.
Really?
At this point,
I know there are tensions between Lian Da and Dimitri after this, but they're not and they're not before number 125, and after number 125, things change. Dimitri is off screen for a very, very long time after 125, so I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know if that's what it's meant to be about. It sure seems that way, but they never bring this up again.
Right.
First of all, it's not at all out of this comics realm to just forget plot lines. So that doesn't disprove it just because they don't follow up on it. Second of all, you forgot Dulcie, so now I can't trust you on anything you don't remember.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I will just see how this goes. Honestly, if nothing disproves it, I think that's basically confirmation because it fits the facts so far, and we agree that's the way it seems.
Lian Da absolutely would do this. Let's be clear. Her and Kragok work together to murder their own father. That's part of their backstory. That's not revealed, by the way. That's just a thing they explain way later. But Luger, Julie Sue's father as well. But yeah, very, very weird.
It is odd.
And then they cap that off with this fucking last page where
Uh-oh.
Lara Sue returns to her alternate future. It's the Future Trunks timeline, and we have Dark Timeline Julie Sue saying, "Yeah, all that shit about Remington killing Knuckles, I made that up."
Which I do not understand, because why would she tell? Why would she say? Why would she blame Remington?
He's just
Yeah,
a dude that she remembered. I'll
like,
blame him.
it's like
Well,
it's
he's
one
not
thing.
just a dude, though.
Well, so
Well,
let's
he
be
could be
clear.
dead in this timeline or something.
Well,
I
yeah, but it's still weird, and
guess.
this is the thing is that in this
Yeah.
timeline, apparently, Knuckles went mad with chaos powers and became Overlord of the Dark Legion and took over everything. Um,
Which, sure, why not?
and so if you lie about the evil dad being dead, you're doing Star Wars. I get it.
Uh-huh.
But shifting that onto Remington is really, really weird. And the fact that it's this
Yeah.
incident that did happen where it could look like Remington was going to shoot Knuckles,
Uh-huh.
um, like, it seems like Julie Sue is basically giving the perfect point to time travel back to, but lying about that event because she never thought that you would time travel.
Well, here's the thing. You're thinking about this too hard. I
God.
I read this and I was like, "Oh wait, it's an alternate reality? Never mind. I can turn my brain off now." Like
I mean, that's,
literally all
yeah,
logic is
fair
thrown out the
enough.
window. It doesn't matter what happened in the past or here. Like there's no relation. She just accidentally fell into a parallel universe, and so she'd failed already. Sorry, Laura Sue, get a better time machine.
Yeah. Um, I do like that the text box says, as cliffhangers go, that's a story for another day, and doesn't mention that that another day is not for a decade under a different writer, and also most of the work is done by Silver the Hedgehog.
Of course, it would be
God.
silver.
Oh my
Also,
God.
silver, really? Okay.
Listen, future timelines, you gotta have them in there somewhere.
Do we have to?
You know,
You
honestly, I
fuckers are
this is
judging Silver. You haven't even met him yet.
No, I mean, I'm
he's
not.
just from the infamous game, and he, from what I know, he acts pretty stupid. But
Everybody's stupid and anyway. Yeah. Go ahead.
it's his debut game. I did not need a follow up on this, so I don't care. Like,
Right.
as I said, I saw this and I was like, oh, never mind. None of this matters. Who cares?
Yeah.
Sure.
It was such a non-ending for the whole Laura Sue thing. Oh, they actually do say their name. So okay, their name is revealed here. I
Yeah.
forgot that.
Um,
That's the whole point, is to reveal Laura Sue, because Penders just couldn't wait, but they didn't want to have to later bend the plot to what they'd already shown, so it just comes from parallel universes. It's very lazy. Very
Yeah.
lazy. You know, I don't like when these comics bring in parallel universes most of the time. It works, maybe 1 in 5 times, but those other 4 times, no.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
Robo Robotnik is good. Uh, so maybe we've liked something with Evil Sonic. We think Evil Sonic is funny, I suppose.
Well,
I
Um,
yeah, I
do
mean,
like him, but a
Evil
lot of the
Sonic.
stuff that he creates are maybe not so great.
Evil Sonic
and
is just a nuisance most of the time, and that just makes him funny.
yeah, that's about it though. Anytime you see Sonic, you turn your fucking brain off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are not done yet. We have one more issue for this week. It is Sonic the Hedgehog number 110, War Games. Good movie, maybe. I don't know. I've not seen it in a very, very long
I'd say it's a
time.
pretty good movie.
All
I
right.
haven't seen it before. I probably should watch it.
Get another nice Axer drawing at the cover page or the title page. Um,
About time we finally get like a good Robo Snively. Like, he looks great there.
Yeah.
oh yeah, on the cover, yeah. Well, thank you, Spazion. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yes, this is Station Square Attacks, Benny Lee and Ron Lim. Station Square's self-defense AI decides that Robotropolis is a top-level threat and launches a nuclear strike toward the city. It's up to
Holy
Sonic and Tails to
crap.
stop the impact before it destroys everything in the surrounding area, including Knothole.
Holy
Right,
crap,
Bruce?
we're
Right?
throwing nukes again. All right, we had nukes brought up like once, like a fucking 1,000 years ago.
The humans have a fucking automatic nuclear deterrence AI. That's Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, A, that's Metal Gear Solid. B, that's also a different movie that I can't think of off the top of my head. I think it's like Colossus or something. I'd have to look it up. I'm not doing that right now. And B, C, why does Station Square have fucking nukes?
I mean, that's not really unbelievable. I don't get why
I
they
don't.
hooked it up to a
No,
computer
I
and
Well, they
don't
gave it
need to
full
know.
know.
control.
I
You
don't
don't have
know.
nukes to use them. You have nukes as protection.
Yeah, you
That's the
have
whole
nukes.
philosophy.
Yeah, the whole doctrine around nukes is they are a way to basically prevent anyone from from directly attacking you.
I'm sure it was insurance in case Eggman like found them.
I
Maybe.
guess, but like, there's got to be other super weapons you can use that don't
Oh, you,
involve.
What's wrong with nukes? Those are
so
quite
you think,
mundane and believable. If it was like some Chaos
So,
Emerald nonsense,
but
then
you
I would be
think that they
complaining.
got nukes between Sonic Adventure and now?
It's
no, no.
possible,
I assumed they already had nukes.
but
Yeah,
yeah, I think they already did.
were they completely cut off from the world before a Sonic Adventure?
it seemed that way.
They were for a while. I can't remember
Because here's the
when
thing,
they split off.
Here's the thing. Nate even said he had visited before, so they weren't
Yeah,
completely cut off.
Well,
maybe he
yeah, but
gave
they
them
were
the nukes.
hidden.
They were hidden, sure, but they weren't. They had. I'm sure they knew about Egg or Robotnik and then Eggman.
Hmm.
So I I guess
Well,
that's a good enough reason for Station Square to have nukes.
whatever the
I
reason.
don't know. I don't know why these comics. I mean, if I had a nickel for every time these comics brought up nukes, I'd have at least two of them, which is more than I would ever expect for fucking Sonic comics.
You need to
Well, yeah.
remember that these
So
writers all grew up with the Cold War as a
Yeah, I
constant background
know.
noise.
I know, and with that logic, I do sort of understand.
Yeah. Regardless of why they have them, they do, and they're
Yeah, they
targeting
do.
Robotropolis, and
Which, holy shit,
that's bad for us.
that's bad for everyone. Ugh.
So ironically, Sonic and Tails have to go warn? Question mark Eggman.
Yeah,
well, that's what
basically.
they try.
Yeah, they tried to do it. Eggman basically tells them to fuck off.
Yeah, he's like, "What do I care? I have a giant force field, idiots."
Exactly. They got the
Yeah, did
damn
you
force
forget my
field.
plot device force field right here?
Oh, yeah. Plot device force field.
Well,
Love that
hey,
force field.
sorry, we're not there yet, but
Hmm?
yeah. So they do show up there, and he's like, "I don't care about that," but they're headed that way, and so Sonic and Tails, yeah, they have to basically get rid of the missiles themselves.
Right. To get Eggman to actually shoot. I thought that they were going to go deal with the force field, I thought. To basically force Eggman to shoot down the missiles instead.
Yeah,
Also,
so there's this
why are there now only 3 missiles?
Was there more before?
There was 5, at least according to the second page where it mentions 5 nuclear armed
Okay.
missiles.
You're right.
I
The
guess
title
they
page
just
says, "What does a
forgot.
talking blue hedgehog, a
Mhm.
two-tailed fox, and 5 nuclear-armed missiles have in common?"
And now it's only. I mean, it doesn't matter. 1 is enough to take out all of Robotropolis.
Yeah.
3 is just overkill.
Just in case one of them goes off course or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is by an insane computer apparently. Anyway, that fired them.
At least somewhat insane.
Yeah, but so you are correct that they're trying to take down the force field so that he's
Right.
forced to shoot the missiles down because he can't
Right.
use it.
What kind of
Right.
gambit is this?
I mean,
Why don't
yeah.
you, if you're gonna hack the force field generator, just hack the satellite to shoot down the missiles
Yeah.
instead.
Well,
Just do that.
you see, that would be too simple for these comics.
Well, and importantly, the writers have an agenda here because
Yeah, apparently.
they want to get rid of the missiles, but more than anything, they want to get rid of part of the current status quo. Um,
Yeah,
because
I can kind of see that. See that with where this is going.
Yeah, this is the
because
entire point of this story.
Yeah.
they're too late. They don't end up shooting down the missiles. Instead, the missiles pass through the force field, or rather where the force field would be, and then the force field activates.
Yeah, so basically protecting everything else from the any radiation or from any explosion.
And this is important because this is permanent.
Yeah, I assumed Robotropolis was gone. I did not see how they could say, "Oh yeah, it just survived 3 nuclear missiles." I, 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 I would have been angry if they did that. Like, the fact that this is permanent. Good on the writers.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, so the city that this entire story is revolved around liberating is now
Mm-hmm.
contained in a force field where there is just constant nuclear, I guess, smoke and wreckage
Nuclear
inside.
ash and stuff.
And that is where it is going to stay until the reboot in 2013.
Damn. All right.
Yeah, so guys, I
Damn.
hope you weren't holding out hope for our good friend Nate Morgan because he's
Oh, no.
gone.
Or
Nate
Colin
and
Vaporized.
or Agnes.
yeah, about to say Nate and Colin and Agnes, for that matter, are all dead.
Well,
and
that's
that one
sad for
historian.
Hope, but I didn't
Yeah,
care
but
about
we
them as
like
much.
only half care about Hope.
Well,
Uh,
it clearly showed Colin and Agnes's roboticization as very much a death of sorts, and
Yes.
Nate's as a sacrifice, even if Bollers was planning to have them show up after this.
which why would really? Because this seems like the final. If you like, I hope you're not holding out hope because we just
Right.
vaporized everything.
Right.
Well, I mean, if
No.
since Bollers said he planned on having them like hiding out underground, I don't know how their free will would have come back, but that was what he said. So
And
I
that's
assume they would have been escaped from there by now.
an
Well, that's
interesting
a really weird.
idea.
It's
I
all
still
undeveloped
don't
plot
get
lines
that
that I don't
whole
know that much
line.
about, so it's not clear.
Right.
You
That's
could bullshit
fair, yeah.
something. I don't know.
Sure.
Well, you could do that in any case, but
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
saying you could bullshit something. Yeah, all of these writers can bullshit something.
like that's always a possibility. But there's something this implies, and it's not that they're okay. That's for sure.
No.
So yeah, this story leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I
It's just the writers pulling something out of nowhere, and then the heroes don't do much of anything. Like there's nothing heroic about this.
no, they just show up, try to warn Eggman. Tells them, "Yeah, why should I believe you?" And then
Also,
nothing else
cannot
happens.
convince me that this absolute force, this menace, Eggman would not see the timing. He's a literal machine. He can calculate it out. Like he should know. Oh shoot! It's too late
I
to
mean,
stop the force
here's
field.
the thing:
and he
he's
should
also
activate it.
he's
Or stop them with
shown
force.
plenty. He's shown plenty that
I
he's
mean, I
so
think he knew the
arrogant.
timing. It was that Sonic was
Yeah.
faster, wasn't it?
I guess.
No, Snively says the force field's active, and then Eggman is like, okay, well activate it then. Like it's not Sonic has nothing to do with it. He just runs out of the way when he's like, oh, it's too late. Okay, now I'll let them go and activate it.
I see what you're saying.
Mm,
Well, so he says activate it now as the missiles are coming in. So I assume they're trying to activate as soon as possible, and they're just too late, right?
Well, but see, Sonic must
Well,
have
no,
timed this.
no, but Sonic kind of implies that that was part of his plan.
Yeah, Sonic does this on purpose.
Yeah, well, he says, "Oh, I'd forgotten about the force field until Robotnik brought it back up," and then kind of implying like, "Oh yeah, this was part of my plan."
Yeah, it's
You know,
really
if we
weird.
can't shoot down the missiles, if they're going to impact the city no matter what, let's use everything to our ability, everything to our advantage, basically.
Yeah. And Yeah, I don't know. If you're gonna blow up Robotropolis, that needs to be something bigger than what they gave us.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Is they just
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
And
I think I feel
This
like it needs some more fanfare or something.
So this has actually been a problem with these stories. This is a trend that I'm seeing now. Is the writers are just doing stuff. They're just sweeping away
Mhm.
things they don't want. They're just changing things bit by
Yeah,
bit. These stories are all about putting things in place now. They're not about, having interesting,
yeah.
stories
These
along the
stories
way.
are really
They're
feeling
they're
like
they just serve a purpose.
yeah. It feels like the writers are starting to be like, okay, we need to change stuff up. We need to not fix, but we need to do stuff with the status quo because things are starting. Things I will admit, things were starting to feel a little stale for me, and this was a big shakeup. That's definitely interesting.
it's gonna have implications, certainly, but the fact that
Yeah,
they just shrug it off like, well, everyone we care about is a knothole anyway. It's like,
right. Yeah, I think that's the problem to me. It's like, oh, they don't really seem to care that this happened, other than, oh, well, Robotnik's gone, which fucking no, he isn't.
better
I
hope no
know.
Robians or humans were left in there.
I'm
Oh, wait a
guessing
minute.
there would have
Remember
been
there
no.
were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our reward for slogging through that is a bunch of uncolored Spaciant line art, I guess.
Why did we have to get the gross issue, the line art from that?
Yeah, why did we need the one with Rotor's innards?
Yeah, I really. eh,
I'm guessing
it's
Penders was out
it's good art,
this
but
month,
like
and
They
they
I
had
don't.
to fill
I
the
guess.
comic
Yeah,
with
because it's
these
got a bunch of.
pages because
It's
there's
like,
no
well,
Penders story
sure,
here.
yeah. It's like we got. It's good art, but like I
We've
don't know
seen
why
it.
we needed it. Yeah, and it. I'll be honest. Spaziant's art looks a lot better when it's colored. It's good uncolored, but the line art is very busy.
Yeah. Well,
Some of them
let's
work more than others.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple here that work fine uncolored, but for the most part, they look better colored.
let's finish off tonight with our final story in this issue, which is One for All, Ballers and Axer. The Sword of Acorns shows Sally a series of ominous visions as it attempts to take control of her mind.
Ballers, I trusted you. I trusted you with these characters. You were supposed to do good things with the Acorn family. Then you bring back this nonsense. What are you doing?
Listen,
That was your first mistake,
I
trusting
have
one of these writers.
I have to disagree. I think that making the sword something malevolent that's trying to take control of her is exactly what you should do with it. Because Sally's entire fucking character has been fighting people trying to control her.
That's
So,
true.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. You keep giving them credit, and maybe it's because eventually Sally gets away from it all, but I have not seen that yet. You're right that the sword is definitely malevolent. It would have been that way either way. The story just making it a little more clear, but they're
Sure.
still powerless. Sally, it's still like their destiny, and they can't fight it. Like even if it's clearly shown that they're trying, they still can't succeed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not saying it doesn't bother me at all because it still is. And frankly, it's like she rejected the molten gold bath, which was supposed to be rejecting that control anyway. But it's just no. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, it turns out the source of power. What's it called?
The source of
It's
all.
just
The source. The source. Okay. Yeah. The source just decided. Yeah. No. I want to control her anyway.
Well, and now the sword's all that's left because the gold pool just got evaporated in a nuclear blast.
Yeah.
So
The gold
that's
pool
one
just.
good thing that came out of this issue.
Yeah. I guess. Um.
I,
But yeah,
I
the sword is now like. Eh.
yeah.
Again, we've got stuff going on, but stuff's going on. Yeah, I think that's all I can really say.
Well, it's not stuff that I like. See,
Yeah, I think that's
if,
the
if
problem. It's
if
not
I
really good
knew,
stuff. But it is at least stuff.
maybe Sally will triumph and destroy all this, and just burn every relic of the Acorns.
She's gonna
But
disband the House of Acorn.
I kind of doubt it, is the thing.
No, she won't, because um,
Because family needs to die, not the people in it, but just the whole,
the royal part of it.
yeah, they just need to be a regular family that isn't bogged down by all this nonsense.
Are you perhaps suggesting that monarchies are not good to have?
I would never say such a thing.
God, I gotta put up that like, I don't know if it was Instagram from like Christopher Eccleston making fun of the Queen of England. It was really funny.
Oh yeah, that's a funny one.
I don't know, but yes, very very interesting but very frustrating comics tonight, I would say. I definitely agree. Elias made the right decision. He got out while he could.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like. Yeah, I don't blame him.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better for Sally, unfortunately, if you can believe that at this point.
I know it because it's gonna take a total shift in the writers. I don't trust Bollers anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I think that's the problem. I don't trust any of the current writers on this, fucking on this team right now.
yeah.
No, that's very wise.
It's like you can say Ballers is trying his best, and he is, but he's still
He
not
is
doing a
trying
great
his
job.
best. Exactly, that's the problem. He's trying his best with what he's been given, but what he's been given is bad enough that I don't think we need some big changes. And I mean, we got one today, just now.
It's yeah. You're gonna see. You know what? Here's what it is. One of the visions the sword shows Sally is Sonic being attacked by spider ninjas.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
I can't believe I forgot to mention that.
it's gonna happen next week.
Yeah. Ninjas.
For right now, that's where I'm gonna cut it off because
Uh,
we can complain until the sun comes up. It's 11:10 at night right now as I'm recording this. So with all that said, that is
I
going to be
probably
it.
will.
Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you guys for suffering through this with me. I hope if you like this video, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you had any questions, comments, criticism, or feedback, we have a link tree in the description. If you have criticism for the writers, we're right there with you.
If you have criticism for the writers, it doesn't matter. This comic isn't running anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, and most of the people who worked on it are no longer in the industry.
Yeah, then yeah. So
I think Karl Bollers is retired. I don't know what he's doing right now, actually.
Anyway,
where's Benny Lee? I don't know what's happened to him. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and take care.